The Great Escape is on. Texans and some people who were evacuated to Texas from the New Orleans disaster zone are slowly making their way to higher ground tonight as powerful Hurricane Rita closes in on the Gulf Coast. Good evening, I'm Bob Schieffer. We're devoting most of our broadcast to this dangerous storm, and John Roberts is heading up our coverage.
It is a massive undertaking, getting the more than 1 million people under evacuation orders out of Rita's way. And no matter where you are, you could be paying a lot more for fuel as Rita threatens Energy Alley.
In the story with a happy ending everyone is talking about, a cool-headed pilot saves a crippled jetliner as the country and the passengers watch on live TV.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
For the people who escaped to Texas from New Orleans, it is an unbelievable nightmare. But tonight, it is a nightmare they are sharing with the Texans who took them in. They are all on the move now as another hurricane, Hurricane Rita, churns toward the Texas coast. Rita did weaken some today to a Category 4, but it remains an extremely dangerous storm, with sustained winds now of 145 miles an hour. Hurricane warnings are up along much of the coast of Texas and Louisiana tonight. The latest projections show Rita heading for landfall sometime tomorrow around Galveston, the most likely strike zone there in red. We've deployed the full resources of CBS News, correspondents, producers, camera crews all along the coast, and we'll begin with John Roberts in Texas City. John?
And Bob, even though it's a beautiful day with just a light breeze blowing at this point, they're not taking any chances here. This town that I'm in right now, just outside of Galveston, is a ghost town tonight. As Hurricane Rita moves in, just about everyone is moving out.
It is an exodus on a scale the Texas governor claims has never been seen before. Some 2 million people on the road.
If you're in this storm's path, you need to get gone.
The interstates are tied up for 100 miles. There's a rush to board up homes and get moving, get cash and get out. Gassing up was another issue.
Waiting here 2.5 hours. You hear that, people? 2.5 hours.
14 hours in traffic jams was too much for some. This Texas City woman turned around and came back home.
Frustration, exhaustion, and confusion. You know, what are we going to do now?
Those who gave up or are holding out are rare. From the air, the southern suburbs of Houston and coastal communities look eerily barren.
Looking along the shores here of Galveston Island, you can see the earliest effects of Hurricane Rita. There used to be a beach out here, and you can see now that it's pretty well covered by water. The waves are rolling in. They look to be about 4 or 5 feet at this point. But as the hurricane gets closer, they're going to get much larger than that. And this seawall that's built over here on the side of this road that runs along the beach looks to be only about 14 or 15 feet high, which when the storm surge comes along could easily be breached by these waves.
Rita could reshape the landscape all along the coast. This part of Galveston Island wasn't here before Carla in 1961. The sand scooped up and moved miles, says meteorologist Jill Hasling.
The places that are behind the seawall, there would be some of it left. The homes out on West Galveston, depending on where it makes landfall, could be destroyed.
In New Orleans, newly dried out after the devastation of Hurricane Katrina, the fear is of rain. It's already coming down there. More than 6 inches could breach the fragile levees and put the Big Easy back underwater.
We're hoping and praying that all of our people will evacuate so that search and rescue efforts will be limited.
And unlike Hurricane Katrina, where the federal response fell so terribly short, FEMA officials say this time they'll be ready.
We're looking for 45 truckloads of water, 45 truckloads of ice, and 25 truckloads of food. And we are well within our realm to get all of those on the ground and in place to make sure that they're ready to distribute.
Houston, the biggest South Texas town, is about 35 miles north of here. And to help in the evacuation there, 8-lane highways have been turned into one-way streets out of town. And fuel trucks have been dispatched to help motorists who've run out of gas. John Blackstone has the story there tonight.
The Texas-sized traffic jam heading out of Houston had cars lined up for miles with the officially declared evacuation routes nearly at a standstill. What do you think of this traffic?
like nothing we've ever seen before.
People who thought they were getting an early start in the evacuation found they had plenty of company. How long have you been driving?
About 3.5 hours already.
How far have you gone in 3.5 hours?
Nowhere.
On this main evacuation route out of Houston, it's actually been possible to walk faster than drive for much of the day. People have been averaging about 3 miles an hour. It's all raising questions about the effectiveness of the evacuation plan when so many people actually do as they're told.
This traffic up there is horrendous.
One big problem, cars going nowhere are running out of gas. The few gas stations still open have long lines. So how long have you been waiting to fill up?
Almost an hour and a half now.
Creeping along in 90-degree temperatures is as hard on the cars as on the drivers. Vehicles overheating and breaking down are adding to the congestion and confusion. We were on the freeway when Steve Woodside's truck stopped running. What has this traffic been like?
Boy, making me use the Lord's name in vain all the time I was on the road.
Many of those sweltering in their cars today started driving last night. So it took you 11 hours to go 35 miles.
Right, and after I stopped and got gas, my car wouldn't start, and I've been sitting here ever since.
Helen Kling's one consolation is that she has some company. Despite the troubled evacuation, officials insist people are better off suffering on the highways than trying to survive the coming storm. John Blackstone, CBS News, Houston.
Just a little bit to the south of us is Galveston, the narrow spit of islands some 2.5 miles wide and 32 miles long, and possibly in line for a huge hit from Rita. Who could be stubborn enough to refuse a mandatory evacuation from there? Lee Cowan now on Riders of the Storm.
Galveston seemed like the end of the earth today. The only traffic jam we found were these evacuation buses, and they were nearly empty.
It is a little eerie, to say the least. This is the middle of I-45. In the last half hour or so, we've seen about 10 cars drive past us. That's it. Emergency officials are calling this evacuation an unqualified success. 90% of the people who live in Galveston are now gone.
But not everybody has left.
Mr. Carrasco? Oh, yeah, Mr. Carrasco!
A few thousand holdouts are riding Rita out, and we were shocked to find out just who some of them were. Take Anthony Carrasco, a man who's had both legs amputated, who police found in the back room of his house.
You want to be on that bus?
The officers begged him to leave, but Anthony refused.
Some people are hard-headed. I mean, they just want to stay.
He told us that he was sick of people telling him that he was going to die, even though he admitted they all may be right.
Well, of course, I'm worried about dying. I'm human.
Across town, we found 83-year-old Annie Smith.
Are you worried about especially the water?
No.
How come?
I can swim like a rock.
That's just her way of saying if it's her time, it's her time.
You've never left for any of the other hurricanes, huh?
Nope.
Same with this one.
Right.
But this one just seems so much bigger.
Yeah. But I know the man upstairs is bigger than it is.
Amen.
Oh, yes.
So this is where you're going to ride it out?
Yes, sir.
Daryl Smith is staying behind to take care of her. If he has to, he says, he's going to put Annie up in his church's choir loft.
You think that'll be high enough?
We're praying that it is.
Like Annie, the church has survived many a storm. Upstairs, there's still food left over from feeding victims of Hurricane Katrina. And he promises the church will help the victims of Rita, too.
I'm praying that, Lord, have your will in it, but spare us. Spare us, Lord Jesus.
But even though it looks like the storm has taken a bit of a jog to the east, in the words of one emergency official here, Galveston could still suffer, as would anybody who chose to left behind, testing both their faith and fate. Bob?
Lee, hold on. I want to get back to you in a minute, but I want to go back to John Roberts first, because Lee has this story, of course, about all these people who don't want to leave. John, you and Mr. Blackstone were reporting on all these people who are trying to leave and are tied up in this traffic. Are they going to be able to get out of there?
Bob, I think the highways are beginning to thin out just a little bit. This having highway Interstate 45 north of here one way has really helped to ease that. And I got to tell you, Bob, I flew in that helicopter from Houston all the way down to Galveston Island and all around. I have never seen this many people evacuating from a storm.
Well, they're talking about 2 million, and in fact, I think you had that number in your story. That's an unbelievable number of people. Lee, about these people who won't leave. Now, this is a mandatory evacuation. Can they make them leave, or will they go back to get them in the end?
No, Bob, a mandatory evacuation means that no, they can't force you to actually leave your house, but what it does mean is that the rescue crews are under no obligation to come back and rescue those people who choose to stay once the storm hits. It's clearly a priority for them. They will go back for them if they can, but they certainly don't have to under the mandatory evacuation orders.
Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. And for the latest forecast now on Rita, we're going to turn again tonight to hurricane expert Brian Norcross at CBS station WFOR in Miami. And Brian, where do we think this thing's going to hit at this point?
It still looks like the upper Texas coast or the western Louisiana coast, Bob. The storm has made a little jog to the north today, which has moved the overall cone over a little bit, but still the Galveston-Houston area are in it. Certainly Lake Charles and Beaumont and Port Arthur, Texas are in it. But the entire coast is feeling it already and is going to feel it even more. Even the New Orleans area, under a tropical storm warning, the water is already being pushed up in New Orleans because of the strong winds from the east.
Well, we know the winds went down just a little today. Is there any way to know at this point what velocity this thing will be when it slams into the coast, wherever it slams in?
Bob, it looks like it may be a little weaker because there's a little cool water ahead of it, but it's still going to be a very strong hurricane, and anybody that's in the way of the water is certainly going to be in a life-threatening situation.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. And to give you an idea now of just how big this hurricane is, it is about 400 miles wide. And when you superimpose a satellite picture of it onto the Gulf Coast, you can see how much of Texas and Louisiana might feel at least some impact. Hurricane-force winds extend 60 miles from the center of this thing. Tropical storm conditions 205 miles out. Coming up next, the hits keep on coming. Gulf oil and gas production was already damaged by Katrina. What Rita may do to it is tonight's inside story. But first, CBS News is asking your help to reunite families separated by Hurricane Katrina. And we're showing you two sisters tonight. Ashley Quincy is 12 years old, about 4 feet tall. Her sister, Amber Scott, is younger. She's about 9 or 10. The children were last seen in New Orleans. A picture of their mother is at missingkids.com. If you have any information, please go to that website or call 1-800-THE-LOST.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles. No.
Okay.
Oh, Chubsy, come on. The answer's always...
No!
That's right.
Ow!
I'm not hearing it.
No! No!
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
I should have worked at Capital One!
What's in your wallet?
No!
Looking for a fresh solution in bladder protection? Then take a look at our new improved Serenity Pads from Tenna with Odazor Plus to help prevent odors, and a unique soft top sheet with multi-inlets that absorb liquid faster than ever before. Serenity feels dry. You feel fresh.
Day after day, drop after drop, you test your blood if you have diabetes. But what if the information you're getting isn't right? If you don't code properly, your readings can be up to 43% off. 43%, and that's just a waste of all those little drops and all your efforts. So Bayer developed the Essentia Contour Meter. There's no coding needed, so you get the information you need from every single drop, every single day. The Essentia Contour from Bayer.
If someone has a complaint about one of our products, I'm usually the first one to hear it. I work in the customer call center at Tylenol, and since I was the first one to hear you tell us that our arthritis medicine was great, but you had to fight to open the bottle, I wanted to be the first one to introduce you to this. Not just an easier to open cap, but the easiest to open arthritis cap you can buy.
Looking for a simple dinner? Just follow the recipe on Campbell's Cream of Mushroom. There's There's 5 meal ideas on every label, like Campbell's two-step chicken bake. Add Campbell's cream of mushroom to chicken and bake for a delicious dinner in 30 minutes.
This is good, Mom.
This is good, Mom.
Just came to me. Come home to a home-cooked meal with Campbell's.
On the Money Watch, the index designed to predict where the economy is headed is pointing down for a second straight month. Delta Airlines, struggling to get out of bankruptcy, said today that it will cut as many as 9,000 jobs, and the government says 214,000 jobs have now been lost because of Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Rita has forced another evacuation of oil rigs and a shutdown of refineries in the Gulf. That could mean higher energy prices for all of us, and that is tonight's Inside Story from Anthony Mason.
Once again, the oil rigs have been evacuated. Almost all production in the Gulf shut down, bracing for the back end of a 1-2 punch. What wasn't hit by Katrina is now in Rita's path.
I mean, if you look at Refinery Row, you know, they hit one end of Refinery Row, now the storms are going after the other. I mean, it's the worst possible nightmare scenario you could have for the world oil industry.
This time, Texas, the country's oil capital, is the target. 17 refineries near the Texas Gulf Coast that account for nearly a quarter of U.S. capacity are right in the middle of Rita's radar screen. With our supplies threatened, OPEC offered help this week, an extra 2 million barrels a day, its entire spare capacity.
But OPEC's offer of more oil has had little effect on the price of crude, which has quickly headed back towards $70 a barrel. That's because here in the trading pits in New York, they're not watching what OPEC does.
They're watching where Rita goes.
You guys have the Weather Channel on down there.
We do.
You're watching this really closely.
24 hours a day.
Energy trader Eric Bowling says it won't matter how much oil OPEC gives us if the refineries that produce gasoline, natural gas, and heating oil are damaged or shut down.
How long are these prices going to be this high?
They potentially have the ability to go substantially higher than this.
Because 4 Louisiana refineries remain closed, and the oil industry is still reeling from the impact of Katrina.
So the more damage you pile on, the further back goes the recovery process, and the longer that goes, you know, the longer high prices stay around.
And if Rita's wrath is anything like Katrina's, $3 a gallon gas could look like a bargain. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
And just ahead, you first met this woman when she took in victims from Katrina. With Rita on the way, she and her family are now evacuees themselves.
At Hyundai, we believe for all the ways we can help you survive an accident, we should provide just as many to help you avoid one. The all-new 2006 Sonata, the only midsize sedan with electronic stability control and 6 airbags standard. It's a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
Got gas, pressure, bloating? Tums doesn't treat gas. To treat gas, use Gas X for fast, powerful relief.
Popcorn? Ooh.
Gas X beats the bloat, and acids don't.
Nobody likes a dirty toilet brush, so get Clorox Toilet Wand. It's loaded with foaming Clorox cleaner. Unlike that nasty old brush, it doesn't just scratch its stains. No brush gets toilets cleaner. Clorox Toilet Wand System.
No matter how big your son gets, no matter how strong he gets, no matter how smart he gets, keep talking to him about not smoking, because a part of him will always listen to his mom. Talk to your kids about not smoking. They'll listen. For conversation starters, log on to philipmorrisusa.com.
So I put on this Thermacare heat wrap for stiff, achy knees. It heated up, and it was all downhill from there. With less knee stiffness, less pain. Oh, yeah. Hey, look at my knee move. And the wrap can go anywhere I go, like a heating pad, without the cord. Nice. You know, I used to feel as creaky as my stairs, but look at me now. I'm not being brought to my knees, by my knees.
My doctor said my type 2 diabetes was out of control.
that high blood sugar increased my risk of serious complications. He said I better diet, exercise, take my medicine. Yeah. I heard it all before. Well, maybe I should have listened.
Every year, up to 24,000 people lose their eyesight to diabetes. Even more are at risk for stroke, heart attack, and limb loss. If you have high blood sugar, get help. Call or visit diabetes.com.
John Roberts is one step closer to becoming the Chief Justice of the United States. As expected, the Senate Judiciary Committee approved Roberts today, 13-5. The surprise was that 3 Democrats voted yes: Pat Leahy of Vermont and Russ Feingold and Herb Kohl of Wisconsin. Roberts' confirmation is virtually certain now when the full Senate votes next week. It is the worst of times that can bring out the best in human nature, and we have one such example tonight. A Houston woman who opened her home to people who had escaped Hurricane Katrina because they had no place else to go now finds herself on the move tonight. Here is Trish Regan in Houston.
Hey, Brandon.
For Houston resident Tracy Cox, Hurricane Rita brings an unexpected twist of fate.
I didn't think this was ever going to happen.
That she, who had sheltered so many Katrina victims in her own home, is becoming an evacuee herself.
I've lived here in this area all my life, and I've sat through all kinds of storms, and I've never been afraid, and all of a sudden I'm afraid.
Afraid for her children and the New Orleans evacuees living with her.
They're already scared, so that adds to my anxiety, you know, because all they hear is hurricane, Category 5, floods, evacuate.
We first met Tracy just as she had taken in 3 evacuee families from the Houston Astrodome.
And they all had small children, and one of them's pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant, and I just couldn't send them back in there. I couldn't. Me and my husband just looked at each other and said, come home with us, all of you.
So overnight, the Cox family nearly tripled in size. They played together and prayed together.
God, thank you for this food.
2 of the families have since moved on, but the Simons are still with Tracy, and Stephanie is about to give birth any day.
I can't tell how many people called and told me to, you know, send them to a shelter, and y'all come here. And I was like, I can't do that to them. They're part of our family now.
So at 3 o'clock this morning, Tracy, her children, and 6 of Katrina's evacuees prepared for a grueling journey out of Houston.
I think we're good to go.
They have no idea where they'll stay or how long they'll be gone.
Somewhere between here and Lubbock, we'll get lucky.
Tracy, who provided so many with hope after Katrina, is finding the strength to fight Rita.
You know, I love you, sister.
They don't know how this will end, but they're a family now, and they'll face it together. Trish Regan, CBS News, Houston.
And still to come, that incredible emergency landing by a crippled jetliner. Even if you saw it, you will probably want to see it again.
Me? I'm a problem solver. There's a problem, I solve it. One problem I thought I'd solved? My acid reflux disease. I thought it was just bad heartburn. But when I went back to my doctor, he told me over time stomach acid had damaged the lining of my esophagus. He prescribed Nexium. Said I needed more than heartburn relief. My esophagus needed repair. Nexium healed the erosions in my esophagus. And 1 prescription Nexium pill a day keeps me healed and relieves my heartburn. So I don't just feel better, I am better. My doctor did say other serious stomach conditions may still exist, and headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain could be side effects of Nexium.
Talk to your doctor about Nexium and find out if a free trial is right for you.
Even the best problem solvers need a little help sometimes.
Nexium, the healing purple pill. If you can't afford your medications, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Now back to Crochet Today.
With your G-hook, keep those stitches loose. And soon, you'll have a nice cover for that little plastic air freshener. See?
Introducing new Glade Glass Scents, the air freshener you don't have to cover up. New Glade Glass Scents natural fragrance oils give you continuous light fragrance for 30 days. And it looks so decorative, you'd never think of covering it up.
Next week, the bunny cover.
New Glade Glass Scents, the air freshener you don't have to cover up. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Hi! Stupid allergies.
Poor kid can't sleep.
He's all congested from nasal allergies.
Only Nasonex is clinically proven to treat and help prevent congestion and other seasonal nasal allergy symptoms.
Let's tell his mom. You go.
Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
His congestion's better.
But your nose isn't.
For seasonal nasal allergy symptoms, Nasonex is the one to treat and help prevent congestion. Talk to your doctor.
Next! I can sell your home in 30 days.
Next.
I'm bringing those customers.
Next. Next. Next.
Finding the right real estate agent shouldn't be so hard.
Next.
At RE/MAX.com, you can find the agent who's just right for you.
He looks like a movie star.
Next.
Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Tomorrow, Leslie used to spend $50 a week to fill her gas tank. Now she spends less than $3 to get to work. Find out how she does it on The Early Show.
Well, if your office is like ours, everyone was asking the same question today. Did you see those pictures on TV last night? A crippled jetliner that had just taken off from Burbank, California, circled the skies for hours till the pilot could attempt an emergency landing. It was real, it was live, and in the ultimate reality show, among those watching were the people on board. Here is Jerry Bowen.
As JetBlue Flight 292 circled above Los Angeles, nose gear turned sideways, burning off fuel for an emergency landing, pilot Scott Burke was the voice of calm.
Flight line 25 left, JetBlue 292.
And as millions of television viewers witnessed the landing, the safe but fiery punctuation to the ordeal, relieved passengers said they'd been watching most of it too, watched their fates played out on seatback TV monitors.
So here is the breaking news on the television in the seat in front of me. This is what I'm watching as I'm in midair.
27-year-old Zach Mastoon captured the anxious moments on his digital camera.
And this is me being hopeful that I'm not going to die in a big meatball of fire.
Everyone was hoping.
That's really what makes everyone nervous, is the fact that you can actually watch what's going on the news and, and you're actually in the airplane.
The monitors were turned off 10 minutes before landing, as passengers, a few in tears, braced in the crash position for the outcome.
And when they had us get into our positions and, I was just, wow, I can't believe this is it, this is do or die time.
It was amazing how good the pilot did this landing. I've had rougher landings on flights without problems.
As dramatic as the 3-hour odyssey was, its cause may have been surprisingly simple. A maintenance mistake, say aviation experts. If so, it's not the first time it's happened on the Airbus 320. Since 1999, there have been at least 6 similar incidents, 4 in the United States, including another JetBlue plane.
When you've got a series of what appear to be similar failures, you really want to take a closer look at it. The NTSB and FAA, I'm sure, will be doing that.
Investigators say the jet's black boxes will tell them what went wrong with Flight 292's nose gear. For now, there are 146 passengers and crew who know what went so very right. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's the news. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. The Walmart price, saving you money on the things you need every day. CBS News, winner of 4 Emmys for excellence in broadcast journalism. Experience CBS News.
It takes an impressive display to turn the female's head. Color will catch the eye of some, while others are drawn to elaborate patterns. For every variation, there is a female who will find it irresistible. The best brands and styles. DSW.
Watch the Gators tangle with the Wildcats. Saturday at 3:30, only on 4.
For a limited time only, stop by your local Publix grocery store and pick up a free copy of Kellogg's Healthy Beginnings magazine, filled with valuable coupons worth over $20.
You're watching CBS 4, South Florida's most watched television station.